Hello, Tim from Fairplay now on the 28th of July 2021. Got a bit of a ghost story for you. I really wanted to tell this ghost story a while ago because I watch a couple of channels. One is a guy called Lee from the Veritas Vincit channel, and the other guy is Marty from the Marty Bucko channel. What I'll do is I'll try and leave links to their latest videos in the description box and comment section below, so you can go and check them out if you like, and subscribe to them if you want, if they resonate with you. Anyway, sometimes they get together and shoot a video discussing various things together, although they normally do their own videos apart. And they were telling ghost stories. And like most people, I do love a good ghost story. And I remember one that my grandmother on my maternal side told many years ago, and it's quite apt actually, because she's been gone sadly now for, well, it's exactly a quarter of a century that she passed. So telling this story will be a nice sort of remembrance to her. Please bear with me if you've heard this story before. I think I've told it here in times gone by, but I'm going to be coming at it from a kind of a different angle today, and also embellishing on it a bit more than I did before. The ghost story really was when she was on a trip with a friend who were both very much into painting. Yeah, they were sort of members of art groups, and they liked going on these painting holidays to various picturesque parts of the country, like the Yorkshire Dales, Lake District, Cornwall, etc., places like that, you know. And they'd go along and they'd have a stay in somewhere. I don't know whether it was a B&B they stayed at or a cottage that you can rent. Not quite sure where they used to stay, but they'd get there, sort of stay, have nice meals out, I should think, and then they'd go and do what they loved, go and set up their easels and start painting the beautiful scenery. But anyway, they're on their way to one of these places, and driving down, it's either a motorway or a dual carriageway, can't remember which one it was now, but it was one of those roads where you have to get on and off them at the sort of exit points, so, you know, on the ramps. You can't just sort of come in on a little sort of side road straight onto it. One of those sort of roads. And we're going back probably to the 80s, maybe even the 70s, when these big roads weren't nearly as busy as they are now, and you could see quite a long way down the road without there being too much traffic in your vision. And I believe it was a nice sunny clear day, and my grandmother was driving the car, and she said that she was looking up into the distance and she could see this white van kind of going across the motorway like that, straight across. And she thought, that's a bit weird, doesn't normally happen on a motorway. And anyway, she gets a bit closer and she's kind of looking, and she can't see any possible way that this van could have got onto the motorway at that point. There's no exit ramp or anything like that at that point. And she thought she had seen things, but as they kind of got right to the point where she thought she'd seen this white van, she noticed that her friend in the front passenger seat was kind of looking around like that. And my grandmother, who was a clever old thing, she decided not to say anything like, oh, are you looking for that white van as well? She just said, why are you looking round? just to see how her friend would respond. And sure enough, the friend said, well, you know, I'm looking for that white van. I swore I saw a white van come across here, but I can't see any way it could have got onto this section of road. So I always remember that story. They just saw this mysterious white van going directly across the motorway, and neither of them had any kind of explanation for it whatsoever. And I'm sure that there's people around who have got scientific minds who would come up with all kinds of explanations for that. Oh yeah, it was a mirage. Oh yeah, it's probably the sort of peculiar weather conditions on the day, which was sort of, you know, playing tricks with the air or something. And kind of a little bit like, there used to be this bloke in America, not sure if he still does this thing now, but he used to a few years ago, where he said, if you've got a ghost story and I can't prove that it's false, I'll give you $1 million. I don't know if you remember that bloke or who he was. If you do, you know, leave a comment in the comment section below. But he would always kind of go along, examine stories like this, and he reckoned anyway that he was always able to disprove them with some sort of scientific explanation or another, which I think sad, to be honest with you. And I think, if anything, this last 18 months has proved that we shouldn't trust science so much, and we should be more accepting of the spiritual side of life. Why do we always have to prove spiritual things wrong and incorrect or non-existent, and have to have science explain absolutely everything? Why can't we just say, no, this time I'm not going to listen to the science, I'm not going to follow the science, because quite a lot of it's rubbish anyway, but just going to listen to my instincts, going to listen to my spiritual side, and I'm just going to accept this particular ghost story as what it is. You know, I'm just going to accept it at face value, pretty much like my gran did and her friend with that white van. And I think this needs to happen a lot more. We just need to get back in touch with our spiritual side. I know I'm probably as guilty as anyone else. I haven't been the most spiritual person in the world. I've always thought there's more to things out there than what meets the eye and that science can explain, although I'm pretty directionless on it. I just I don't know exactly which way to turn, but I've got a very, very open mind on it, and I love hearing tales of other people's kind of spirituality, their experiences, ghost stories, and all those kind of things. So I thought I'd offer a few kind of offerings along the spiritual side of things, and if you've got a ghost story or you've got some kind of spiritual advice or story to tell, so please do feel free to leave it in the comment section below, or just comment on what I've been saying. You know, I do try and read most of my comments. It's getting quite difficult actually, because so many of them coming in, and it's getting quite hard to keep track of them all. So if I don't reply to you or sort of give you a little heart thing, you know, that heart symbol, it's not because I'm ignoring you, it's probably just because I've missed it in all the other ones. But I do try and read all the comments, and sort of replying one way or the other to as many as I can. So look forward to seeing your comments on this subject. Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.